Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the stream. Let me just unmute Mark for a second. There we go. Hello there, Mark. How are you today?
I'm well, thanks, Steve. And yourself?
Yes, but on thanks. I have had a
Good.
very good sleep.
Good, good, good,
A
good.
much needed long snooze. I had a light snooze today.
Hmm.
So, very good. Thank you. I hope
Good.
everybody in the chat is well too. Thank you for joining us. Obviously, it is Wednesday night. It just figures, doesn't it? And it is the Drone News Show. I've actually gone live this week. Yeah, so,
Oh, you only
you know.
took you only took the 1 week off there for
Yeah.
reasons.
One week off. The drone
Yeah,
news last Wednesday was like non-existent. I wasn't
right.
feeling 100%, so I do apologise about no show last week. But we are now back on schedule, of course. Right. So
Well, while you're on that, I might as well let everybody know that we're taking a week off also this Saturday with the Spotlight stream.
yeah,
So we will not be on my channel Saturday night doing the Spotlight. I'm working on lining up some guests, and that gets to be a bit tricky. So we're not gonna push it and just rush things. So we're gonna take a week off and try to regroup for next Saturday. So don't tune in on Saturday. Sorry, folks.
yeah. Week off. Yes, indeed. So, like I say, I hope everybody's well. I know it's still crazy out there, sort of
Mm.
around the world. So, I hope everyone's doing well, physically and mentally, like, of course. Just keep yourself busy, keep yourself entertained. I know I am. It's endless computer games for me and Mark, I'm sure. But,
Mm.
well, Mark still has to work, but I don't. But, yeah, that's.
Well, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Oh Lord, yeah. I get picked on for that
Yes.
one.
So,
I,
we do
I
have
could
some.
cuss if you'd like.
Well, I have no control over that.
Yeah,
So
no, no, I'll just stick with the old Lord for now.
yeah. If you wanna curse, just let me know, and I'll just mute you for a split second. Yeah.
Well, that's
All
no
right.
fun in that.
I need a soundboard with a censored bleep sound.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Like I say, we have some awesome drone news stories tonight. Just sort of tucked up nice with a nice cold glass of soft drink, starting with Doctor. I don't know if I'm allowed to name it, but Mr. Pibb, we'll call it, like the Simpsons one.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
There you
There
go.
we go. There we go. There we go. My head's now in the game. So, in the chat, then we have Gimmicks. That is Lucas, our
Yeah.
good friend from the Czech Republic.
So
Vanessa
Lucas.
Kitty is in the chat also. Getting mixed up on times, it seems. Thought it was about midnight in the UK. She
Yeah.
says she's tired and she's mucked up. That's all good. That's all good. Days and times for me literally have no meaning anymore. So don't worry.
In
Yeah.
fact, I'm with you on that. I didn't even realize today was Wednesday. It's Wednesday. It was like 3:30, quarter to four. Like, oh shoot, wait a minute, we got a live tonight. That's when I
Yeah.
started hitting you with messages. So,
Yeah, every day is the same, it seems.
mm,
Karel Barassa has joined us as well, so thank you for joining us there. I was really hoping tonight, that Shrimp Shack could pop in because I've been looking for Shrimp Shack's channel and I can't find it, and I was really hoping they'd just put the link in the chat. I don't even know if Shrimp Shack is male or female or somewhere in between, so
mhm.
I honestly don't know, but I
Huh.
hope they come
Well,
in and put the link
well,
in because I am very keen on checking their channel out. So
yeah,
yes,
yeah. Why not?
there we go. We're just nice like that. We like to send the love back.
Yeah.
So that's all good. 5 people watching. I don't know how many people will be joining us tonight, but for the people who are in, we hope you have a good time.
Yes, and
Yes.
welcome, welcome.
Yes, like we've always said, we'll do this stream anyway. Even if we had one person watching, it'd be all for you. The more people, the merrier, of course. But, we'll do a stream for one person if it comes to it. We won't paywall it either, like some people do, you know what I mean? They have the normal streams, then they have the private stream, don't they, every week or every
Yeah,
month,
some.
for the Patreons, but we don't do
Well,
anything like
well,
that.
they have memberships now that you can have for channels, and then you can keep them private with memberships and pay monthly fees for all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, Steve, with
Yeah,
YouTube. So,
yeah, with the join button.
hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. You know it's getting bad when YouTube has a paid subscription service. Oh,
Well, no,
that's,
you pay the channels to be members of their channel, so you get special perks to be
yes.
as, and then you get special live streams and stuff. So they have that as an option for people who want to do that. So,
Yeah, well, do you know on other streaming sites, call them D Live or Twitch or whatever,
uh-huh.
you get these what are called cam girls, right? And they basically go on stream. They don't talk about much. They don't talk about computer games, and Twitch was set up for computer game streaming. And they'll sit there on camera wearing the really low cut tops, like with makeup on, and basically just interact with the chat. And you know, it is sort of very suggestive, the things that they talk about as well. And they're raking in some serious bank doing that. They're actually called thoughts. These girls.
I've heard of that term. Yes.
Yeah. That hoe over there. Apparently, it stands for. You know, I don't know if this is appropriate for a drone news stream, but never mind. And essentially, some of their perks involve sending their own bath water to their subscribers. Yeah. So they'll go in the bath and they'll bottle the water up and then send it. Mark, is that something you're willing to do?
You don't want my bath water. I don't want my bath water. That's why there's a thing called a drain to take it away.
So
that
if anyone's
awful.
Interested in Mark's bath water, please let us know in the chat, and we'll see what we can arrange for you. Yeah.
Oh, that's awful. I'll tell you what, though, I'll have some fun with that. I'll go outside, get some mud, throw it in there, and mix it up with some other stuff, and be like, "Holy crap! Look at this guy's bath water."
Yeah.
It's awful.
And what's even weirder is some of them do actually send pieces of clothing. I won't name which ones, but you can use your imagination. Yeah, not good. It's creepy. It really is. But people would subscribe to that, and that had become their sort of
entertainment
fetish, as it were. You know.
Yeah.
So, I honestly don't know, mate. It's creepy.
So onto the drone news.
Onto the drone. Yes, it took a very
God.
strange turn, but you know.
That's
Drone news at the minute, there are some great stories, but it is still fairly thin on the ground. So,
Hey, Shrimp Shack's in.
it's Shrimp Shack. Hello, Shrimp Shack. We was just talking about you. All good, right? Please put a link to one of your videos in the chat, because I've looked for your channel so many times and I can't find it. So please link one of your videos in the chat, and I'll check you out after the stream.
It's hard to subscribe to you if we can't find you.
Yes, I've searched Shrimp Shack, and there's several channels called Shrimp Shack, and I've tried every variation and I can't find the one with your logo on it. So, you know, please link one of your videos for us. Thank you for joining us also. Hasn't got any videos.
Can you link his channel?
Yes, can you link your channel then, please? Just if you're on PC,
supporters.
I know you might know how to do this, but if you're on PC, just go to the URL bar when you open up your channel and just copy and paste it into the chat for us, please. Yes, please. just asking. Okay, right, let's get on to some drone news,
Yes.
Mark. We're 10 minutes in and we've not talked about anything drone related yet. But
We've talked about thoughts.
You know what you get if you show up to the weekly drone news roundup. It used to be all about drones. Now it's about dinosaurs and conspiracy theories. So yes,
and every once in a while, coffee.
And coffee.
Yes, you remember I went on and on about coffee that day.
Oh yes. You had a long rant about that.
Oh, coffee is life's blood.
Shrimp Shack says, Steve, have you seen the moon? I saw it last night actually, with my blinds closed. How does that make any sense? No, there's like a gap in the blinds, and I could see it through there. It looked really big and bright. So you know what I mean. After the stream, I'll go check it out. Okay, because obviously I don't want to just get up and wander off. You know, that wouldn't be very good. So let me switch to my. Everything's working fine. I had several issues before the stream, but that's all good. Mark,
my God.
Mark, are you spamming the chat for us there?
No, I just realized my writing tablet was underneath my keyboard, and all of a sudden it just started randomly putting E's in. So I apologize for that.
Mark's flatlined in the chat.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
That's the last E you'll see from me.
Okay, so this is from BBC News, and you all know how much I love them. The link is actually too long, funnily enough. So hopefully, if I copy that and put it in the chat, then you can go search for it yourself. I mean, it's the BBC website. It's not going to be too difficult to find this story. But the link's too long. It's like nearly 300 characters. I can't put it in the chat. But this story, Mark, is a Latvian drone fueled for days goes missing, restricting airspace. Have you heard anything about this story?
You gave me a hint of it yesterday. You said that you found a really good story and gave me a teaser. So other than that, no, I haven't heard anything about it.
Yes, well, the concerning thing is, it's still on the loose.
It's a rogue drone.
No one knows where this thing is. And this is a picture of it.
I hate to say it, maybe somebody's soul is taking it over. We're going to get another movie out of this.
Well, Stephen Hawking did warn about rogue AI, so you've got to be careful of that. That it's planning a drone uprising.
So is that a picture of the actual drone that's gone missing?
Yes, apparently, yeah. Well, this is the thing. The media has been saying how dangerous drones are for a long time. This proves it, right? Because they are starting a drone uprising. So Latvian authorities, we'll get onto the story, are hunting a 26 kilogram, 57 pound drone that went missing mid-flight, causing air traffic problems. The aviation authority has restricted flights below 20,000 feet in the region while they search for it. While officials say it's likely the drone has landed, it has enough fuel to fly until 7:10 local time on Tuesday. Many members of the public reported sightings, but none has been confirmed. The non-military drone is understood to belong to a local UAV manufacturer. During a test flight, the company lost comms with the drone and lost track of its location. Latvian media reports. About 3.5 metres long and 5.5 metres wide, with an airspeed of up to 43 miles per hour. It was last seen flying about 200 metres. So this looks like another angle of the drone there, which looks very lightweight. It looks like it is like an endurance flyer, so you just fuel it up and it'll go for days. So on Monday evening, the aviation authority said the possibility the drone was no longer in the air was becoming increasingly likely, but multiple planes were still searching. Despite lower air traffic across Europe due to the pandemic, the errant UAV has caused problems, closing airspace over Riga International Airport and causing the redirection of a flight from China to Tallinn. Now, this Riga International Airport keeps coming up for some reason. It rings a bell, and I think we've done 2 or 3 other stories about this airport. What's your thoughts on this, Mark? I mean, it's unavoidable, really. I mean, it's a test flight. Probably would have been better to just fuel it up for a day, to be fair.
Yeah, I would have thought that if
it's a test flight, but then again, if you're testing how long it can fly, then obviously you do want it to be fueled up. But the wingspan, 5.5 metres, this is no consumer drone, is it?
No,
let's be honest.
No, it's not. And my concern is that, I mean, unless they didn't put that into the story, is that if they're testing its longevity in flight, you would start with a few hours and move to a half a day and then maybe a day, like you said. But if they went right for the 2-day, whatever number of days that they're suggesting,
4 days,
4 days, then that is a bit presumptuous to think that it's that. I would like to think that they would have started in stages and that this was just an anomaly that caused it. But we're going into, and I have a story about drone deliveries again this week, that this is going to happen. I think you're gonna have drones that are going to wind up going where they don't belong and dropping off packages where they don't belong. And the question is, how are they going to deal with it, and is it going to be safe? Most importantly,
Yes.
Right now I can say it does not matter whether it's an FPV drone or one of my photo drones. I have yet to have a flyaway. Part of it is because I try to spend the money on good quality products that have been tested and proven. But these people who are making these drones and having them go off delivering stuff or flying for 4 freaking days. I mean, come on, it's going to happen. So I just hope nobody gets hurt, and I hope they retrieve it and all is well. I'm half betting that in the next night or so, I'm going to look up, I'm going to see that silhouette flying overhead. find its way over here to the States. You never know.
Well, if it's flying at 200 meters, oh no, that would be out of the range. But
Yeah.
you know, if it was flying lower, it'd be nice to just track it
Yeah.
with your own drone. But then again, lockdown prevents it. But you know,
I can watch from my window, but how funny would that be to see it all the way over here for
from Latvia.
Yeah, it'd be hysterical.
Just run some calculations quick, Mike. 43 miles per hour for 4 days. Could it reach the US?
I'll have to think about that.
From Latvia. It is almost the other side of the world, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make it. I think it'd crash before that, hit some bad weather or something, or a mountain. Who knows?
Yeah, 43 miles per hour is really not fast. So
No.
You know, not compared to, say, a jumbo jet. It's like 550 miles per hour cruising.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
I don't think it'd make it. Just that'd be my first estimate. But don't make me think right now. I did enough math today.
Yes, okay. Yeah. So whatever you do in the chat, please don't make Mark think. Yeah. No complicated maths questions for him.
Or I will spam E again.
Oh dear, no. Spare us.
Well,
Okay.
I like how Gimmicks was a bit cheeky when I said that's the last E you'll see from me, and the next thing he does is type a capital E in. Thanks, thanks there, Lucas. Appreciate that.
You know what I mean? I'll join in. Look, I'll just I'll spam a key. Look, there we go. I nearly spammed R for some reason. Yes, Mark. Onto your next.
Okay.
Onto your first story, should I say? I'm going to switch
yeah.
over right now.
I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat here. And this one is a important story, not a very happy story, but one that begs discussing. It's from UAV Coach, again, one of our usual sources. Using drones for good, Parrot provides drone software and support to Human Rights Watch. Okay, French drone company Parrot has committed itself to supporting the mission of the Human Rights Watch, which we'll refer to as HRW from now on, by providing drone software and technical help in the investigations into human rights abuses throughout the world. Now, in this situation, Human Rights Watch is doing incredible work around the world. We are honored to push the boundaries of how our technologies can be applied to help them in their missions. And basically, it comes down to this. Between 2013 and 2019, ISIS abducted thousands of people in northern Syria. Many of them remain unaccounted for to this day. HRW is trying to locate their remains and document the crimes committed, both to provide information to the families of those murdered and to prove that war crimes are or have been committed. The Al Hoda Gorge investigation specifically, they used the Parrot, and this support began in 2017 in northern Syria. The focus of its investigation was on the Al Hoda Gorge, the suspected site of a mass grave used by the ISIS. And there's a picture of the gorge itself. An aerial shot says HRW started this investigation after being made aware of disturbing videos showing a group of 7 masked ISIS fighters tossing the bodies of 2 dead men into the gorge. The video was obtained by a worker at a computer repair shop in Tal Abyad, I think, Syria. When a known ISIS member left his computer there for repairs, the shop worker secretly copied the video off of it and shared it with the Syrian news website, which subsequently posted it on June 26, 2014. So this obviously has been going on. This article actually is fairly recent, but they're going back in time to set the stage here. When HRW found out about the video, it began trying to find the location of the gorge using information gathered from the satellite imagery, geological maps, and old obscure videos on YouTube, and chasing down leads in Syria, Turkey, and France. The HRW team discovered that the location of the video was the Al Hoda Gorge, located 50 miles north of, I think that RAQQA, Raqqa, I think.
Raqqa,
It wasn't until 2017 when ISIS was pushed out of the area that HRW was able to start investigating there. HRW's initial investigation started with interviews, a visual inspection of the gorge, and a review of satellite imagery of the site. But the bottom of the gorge could not be visible because of its depth. Determined to get proof of what ISIS had done, the team returned a year later equipped with Parrot drones. Using Parrot drones, the HRW team was able to capture aerial footage of the bottom of the gorge, providing clear evidence that bodies had been dumped there. In addition to finding bodies, the visual data helped them create a 3D topographical map. The map, created using a Pix4D mapper, uncovered even more places in the gorge where bodies might be located. And there's actually a video. I'm not going to play it. Go ahead and click on it and look for yourselves. In its flights with the Anafi, the HRW team discovered a chilling fact. There were fresh bodies at the bottom of the gorge. This meant that ISIS was still operating in the region even after supposedly being routed and pushed out in 2017. Again, I told you this was not a happy story, but hopefully one that will end in some sort of, how should we say, justice in the future. It would be nice. It does say, warning, the last 15 seconds of video contain brief video footage of dead bodies found in the gorge. So keep that in mind if you're going to watch the video. If that's something that you're sensitive to, just understand that's going to be in there. The project in North Syria isn't the first time HRW used its drone in its work, and it goes on from there. But again, essentially, that's the story that goes on and discusses how Parrot, that company, has helped this organization uncover the truth or the evidence of supposed alleged war crimes. So I don't know. It's crazy, but and these Anafi drones, they're hobbyist drones. They're not. I mean, they're very good drones. They're not professional by any stretch of the imagination. Although I'm sure they carry 4K imagery, and with that kind of technology, you can get very crystal clear imaging and do the 3D mapping that Pix4D does require. So a very important story, and hopefully, this world sucks. I ain't gonna lie to you. Crap like this happens all the time, and uncovering it is bad. But I guess the silver lining is maybe they'll be able to do something about it now that they have proof. So
yes,
it is what it is. I don't know if you have any thoughts about it, Steve, but feel free at this point.
Just one thing, you really do show your stupidity if you're some kind of terrorist and you've got footage of your posse or whatever you want to call them, your comrades, doing illegal activities, recorded on your laptop, and then you send it off for repair. You know that repair people will look through your stuff. They've got to diagnose problems, and they will have to look through files and folders to potentially diagnose a problem. And how stupid. Truly.
That is stupid, and it just, I don't know, I have no words for it. I really don't.
Oh dear. Say if I had illegal activities on my computer recorded, I would not be sending that off to a repair shop. Right? It doesn't make any sense, does it?
I mean, my wife and I have had laptops and computers where we've had personal information like accounts and stuff, where we did our checking. We used to do our checkbooks and stuff with with Quicken or one of these things. And we'd go to throw the computer out, and my wife would be like, well, we're just going to toss it or recycle it. I said, yeah, but wait first. I would remove the hard drive and either keep it, because I had like 5 or 6 hard drives sitting around just because I didn't feel comfortable with it going, because I don't know what kind of personal information could be extracted that we had on there about our accounts and such, to the point where when we finally wanted to throw them out, I just took a hammer to the damn things and bashed them to beyond recognition, which probably some talented tech guru could probably still retrieve the information if they really, really wanted to. But I needed peace of mind that at least I tried. Because again, you're doing online banking, you're doing online shopping. You never know where that information goes, whether it's on the net or if it's somehow embedded in your hard drive. So I have nothing to hide, and I'm not letting people see that. This guy I wonder what ISIS will do or has done to this individual if they found out who it was.
I know, yeah.
I think he's at the bottom of the gorge, actually.
He'll get a slap, definitely.
Yeah. Either that or he's one of the fresh bodies on the bottom of the gorge.
Oh, I really don't want to laugh about it, but that's it.
Well, I mean, it's like laughing at the ISIS fighter who didn't know how to work his drone and set it off with weak batteries. You remember that story you did a while ago?
I guess just came flying back and blew him up.
I don't know. This is starting to measure the intelligence of ISIS. I don't know. I shouldn't say that because maybe I'll be on their hit list for saying it. But they're not striking me as the brightest bunch in the group. But they are dangerous, though. They are dangerous. No.
Now, just for record, if you do want to destroy a hard drive, the best way to do it, very cheap, is to get a hammer and nail and just nail right through the top. Make sure you hear a very loud crack. That's the actual disc cracking, right? There's no coming back from that. It's electromagnetic, the way the stuff's stored on the disc. If you break the disc, it's done. It's over.
I don't know what you call it, but I have one of those hammers that geologists will use with the nice sharp pick on the back.
Oh yeah.
And I beat the hell out of it with that end.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I broke that disc in there. I'm pretty sure. I saw a few punctures.
What was really interesting to me was I was working a job one time. I can't go into specifics, of course, but there was somebody I befriended on there, and he showed me what he did. And his job was to sit there, his entire shift, to sit there and basically slot company hard drives into this machine. It just had like this little slot in it. This machine was about this big, right? You slot the hard drive in and just press a button, and it went beep for about 20 seconds, and then went bang, and it just EMP'd the hard drive.
Really?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, so basically it was frying the drive.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like a little mini EMP to the hard drives, just to wipe them.
Nice.
Yeah. Because obviously it's sensitive company information. They don't want that getting out,
So it's the digital version of a paper shredder.
Yes. Yeah.
EMPs are us. I can see it now.
Yeah. It was mad because he went. I tell you what, if you listen really carefully, you can hear the moment when it goes like. So I put my ear to it, and it's like, and it went bang, jumped out my skin.
Now, silly question, but I do have to ask. Once that's done, that disk drive, it's not like it's been erased. It can't be used again, right? It's been completely destroyed.
It is gone. It is completely gone.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I just thought I'd share that with you.
Oh, no,
if you're
that's cool.
interested in wiping sensitive hard drives, get yourself one of them little EMP machines. Honestly, a drive every 20 seconds, you just pull them out. They're not red hot or anything. Just pull them out. They look fine, but then you just put a big black cross on them and chuck them in the bin.
Yeah.
That's it. So,
and that's what he did.
To be recycled for all the bits of gold and all that lot that's contained in them.
Yeah, a lot of. I hate to go on a tangent here, but a lot of people don't realize how much gold there is. I mean, it's not a lot in every computer, but you add it up, there's a lot of gold. And that's what makes gold precious right now, is its use, not for jewelry, but its technological use.
Yeah, gold is a very strange material. It really is. Extremely high conductivity, heat resistance, lack of
corrosive.
Yeah, that's the one. Lack of reactivity. It's a crazy material, and it boggles my mind to think that people just wear it as a status symbol. Don't get me wrong, I'm not slagging off anybody who wears jewelry, but it's definitely not my thing,
No, I mean, I'm not a jewelry person either, and that's what I try to explain to people, is that gold is a precious metal, not because it looks pretty, because there's all kinds of metals that look pretty and you can make into jewelry, but its qualities. It's like you said, it's one of the best conductors that does not corrode. And that's what gives it its value. So, at least that's what I think.
Yes. Right. Okay then.
Enough of the geology lesson. Back to the drone news.
At this point, I'm like this. Drone news. That's so good. No, we do love drone news. Obviously, on the Skype chat, I don't have the camera on, but I did just do a silly face while I did that. But that's all good. Like I say, drone news is fairly thin on the ground, so we're having to pad it out a little bit. So I hope you appreciate the banter. I know I do. Anyway, we do have a good laugh. So over to my screen share there, my window share, whatever it's called, and I will post this link in the chat. Post that in, and that is Apple is now selling DJI's new Mavic Air 2 drone. It's online. It's in store. So. Nice. Yeah, so I'll read the article then. So DJI in late April debuted the Mavic Air 2, a foldable drone that includes upgraded flight modes, longer battery life, larger camera sensor, 4K video recording and 8K hyperlapse video capabilities. Now, I didn't know about the 8K hyperlapse, but that's nice. Most people don't have an 8K TV. Most people won't have for a long time. So 8K stuff, 4K is damn good. So 8K is overkill at this point. People realise it. The more times you go into 4K 8K, 16K, the pixels get smaller and smaller and smaller to a point where you won't even be able to tell the difference between 8K and 16K and 32K. It's just diminishing returns, you know. So obviously from like 480p to 720p, that's noticeable because that's the pixels perceivably are like 50% smaller. And then from 720p to 1080, even smaller. And then from 1080p to 4K, obviously 4K being 4 times 1080p. So within a 4K window, you can fit 1080p 4 times in there, hence the name 4K, 4,000, almost 4,000 pixels like across. So, not 4,000 pixels, but you know what I mean, the resolution. So, it's imperceivable. I can get so close to my TV, Mark, and put my eyes right to it like that, and you can barely even see the pixels on it, you know. So
it's pretty
if you get like an 8K screen, you know, unless you're sat or unless you get so close to it, you're not even going to be able to tell the difference. So you know, there we go. That's my thoughts on 8K. So as of today, Apple is selling the Mavic Air 2 in its online store, offering the drone on a standalone basis for $800 and in a combo package for $989.95 that includes a carry case, 2 extra batteries, a charging hub and extra propellers. Now the Mavic Air 2 does look very sleek. It's gone more towards the Mavic Pro style design. It looks more like a Mavic Pro than it does the original Mavic Air. And it does look very good. The way DJI make these drones to make them look does look very nice, let's be honest.
They make it appealing, yes.
Yeah, they are very aesthetically pleasing drones. So the Mavic Air 2 is DJI's first Mavic drone able to capture 4K video at 60 frames per second and 120 megabits per second, supporting HDR video, 4 times to 8 times slow-mo video, and 48 megapixel image capture. 48 megapixel just being ridiculous. It features a 3-axis gimbal and its new motors, electronic speed controls, refreshed aerodynamic design and updated safety features make it easier to fly and increase flight time to up to 34 minutes. Mark, that's pretty notable.
That's better than the Mavic 2s. Yeah.
The flight time on drones is one of the main things holding them back, right?
Yep.
So every time they release a new drone, if it's an extra 2 or 3 minutes, I know the progress is slow, but over time that will start stacking up, you know, to a point where one day we might get the Gatwick battery, you know, where a drone can fly for 36 hours straight, right? You know? The drone can be used with either an iPhone or an Android smartphone that offers a long list of notable features as outlined by DJI. So HDR photos, Mavic Air 2 automatically captures 7 varying exposures of the same photo, merging them together to bring out a highly dynamic image. Now that's really, really cool. Hyperlight is designed for low light scenarios, taking multiple photographs and merging them to bring out a clear image with less noise, which usually occurs in low light scenes. Scene recognition. Mavic Air 2 can recognise 5 categories of scenes, including sunsets, blue skies, grass, snow and trees, then optimise settings to make the photograph pop by bringing out the highest degree of colour detail and tones. It sounds like it's got some automatic colour grading in there as well, Mark.
Oh, that's cool.
That sounds pretty cool. Active Track 3.0. Obviously, I'm not going to go into the full thing of that, but it's basically object tracking and things like that. Point of Interest 3.0. That's like automated flight modes and whatever. It does that even better apparently as well. And Spotlight 2.0, found in professional DJI drones. Spotlight locks the subject in the frame while the user has free operation of the drone's movements. That's fine, I guess. It's not a feature I'd really use, but so the Mavic Air 2 can be purchased from Apple as of today and will arrive on May the 12th at the earliest. May the 12th. That's not far away, is it?
Did you say it had a bigger sensor for the photography or for the camera? A bigger sensor? And if I think you said something about that earlier. It doesn't matter, but it doesn't
mention the actual sensor on there, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's cool. So it can be ordered today. I don't know if it'll let you on May the 12th in the UK. I think that's more for the American thing is, but I'm sure I'm sure you could get somebody to export it, but you will be looking at a fair amount of money to do that, I think. And the top comment on this is, will it deliver itself to your door? Smiley face. Now, I would love one of these, Mark. Would you?
Oh, I wouldn't mind it. It's a nice drone. It really is.
Yeah. If I'm going to upgrade, I might even be tempted to get the Mavic Air 2. You know, the Mavic
It's not
Pro
a bad
2.
price.
The Mavic Pro 2 is old news now. That's what I was hoping, though, Mark. Now we're talking about drones. I was hoping, you know, by not upgrading my Mavic Pro right away to a newer model, I could actually skip a generation or two, because the Mavic Pro, I know I always bang on about it, but it's still a very, very capable drone.
Oh, absolutely.
It really is. The original Mavic Pro, and now the prices for them are really dropping, because obviously you've got several drones above it now. Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic 2 Zoom.
And I think we've been on about this before. I just wish they got a bit more diverse with the naming, because now you got the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic Pro 2.
Yeah.
Really, guys?
Yeah.
Couldn't you come up with something a little better than that? But I like the hull shape. It's very similar to the Mavic 2 as opposed to the Mavic Pro 2. And I just think it's a much sleeker design. I am not a fan. I'm not here to slight it, but I'm not a fan of the phantom shape. I'd like to see them kind of graduate away from that at some point, but that's just my personal opinion. Because, you know, if you're going to have some sort of obstruction like those legs, it might as well be the body, so it gives it that nice, compact, sleek look. You know, because right now you almost have the ability with a Phantom to have 360 gimbal, but if you do that, you've got the view of the legs in the way.
Now, just for reference, I know you can't see this on the camera, Matt, but you might be able to spot it on the screen. For anybody who's not into drones, you know, you're still more than welcome to watch, but for anybody who doesn't know, the Mavic Air had this like contour design on the top, and it was like multicoloured as well. You could pick all different colours for it. It looks nothing like the Mavic Air 2, well, apart from the 4 propellers, of course, but the body design and the camera look very, very different. Now, tell me, does that look more like that design? That looks more like it is the Mavic series, you know, because the Mavic Air was called the Mavic Air, but it didn't look like a Mavic, did it? Like in the main sense as saying that is what you'd think of as the design of the Mavic. So that the Mavic Air 2 has gone more towards the design of the traditional Mavic rather than the original Mavic Air design, which I prefer that look anyway.
But I mean, just the foldable, sleek, narrow body design that's similar in both the Mavic and the Mavic 2s and all that. And that kind of footprint, I think, is much more aesthetically pleasing to me. You know, and it's just a handy little shape.
Yes. So if you're interested in buying that, the link, I will relink it. I know it's the last comment in the chat, but that's all good. I will relink it for anybody who's watching the stream back, so you can go into the chat and check it out for yourself. And if you've got some money to drop, then feel free to order one and message me and let me know how it flies, because I'll be really jealous.
And that look, I just did full screen on that. Look at my other monitor. That camera really looks a lot like the Hasselblad camera. You know, that square shape. It does, doesn't it? That's why I'm wondering if the sensor's bigger on it and by how much from the regular Mavic 2 Zoom or something like that. So interesting.
Yes. Lena Music, hello there. Lena Music in the chat says, I wanted to say hello and drop my likes and wish you stay safe and happy. Yes, you too, Lena Music. It's been a long time no see. I hope you're well. We're just talking about the Mavic Air 2, you know. We talk about all sorts on this show. I don't think I'll name it the Drone News Show anymore.
Hey, we did just go on and on about drones here, Steve. Last two stories were drones.
But for those who know, it's not strictly drone news at the minute, because it is fairly thin on the ground. Right, Mark, over to your next story, mate. Let's have it.
Yeah, by all means. Now, when you flip to my screen, I still have the previous excuse me, dry throat there.
Swig away.
I still have the previous story up there, because I want to ask a question of you and of the chat. Define drone. When we talk about drone stories, you and I have an image of what we talk about when we talk about drones. But what is a drone? How do we classify drones?
Well, drone is any sort of remote control vehicle, really.
Right. So it
When
could
you
be
refer
ground.
to
It could be
drone,
air.
you could mean a remote control car, technically.
Yeah. Right.
You
Well,
know.
this is why, even though we are a little light on the ground with drone stories, I still would have done this if there were a lot of drone stories because I find this interesting. Let me bring it up now, right here. Here's the link, and because this to me spoke a lot about drones in a way, and it is going to affect our lives, so to speak, with regards to automation and whatnot. So there's the
Hmm.
link. Sleeker LiDAR moves Volvo closer to selling a self-driving car. I guess at some point when you want to take a nap and you want to let the car take over, let the lidar do the driving for you. If any automaker has made its name synonymous with safety, it's Volvo. The Swedish outfit's marketing department deserves some credit here for sure, but they've got good stuff to work with. Over the decades, Volvo has led to the industry with 3-point seat belts, rear-facing child seats, blind spot monitoring systems, and more. Now it's once again in the vanguard, announcing Wednesday that it will be the first automaker, I guess that means today, to use LiDAR laser vision systems to enable what is called fully autonomous highway driving in its cars, actually starting in 2022. The news is the result of a deal with Luminar, the 8-year-old LiDAR company helmed by 25-year-old Austin Russell. Instead of the sort of spinning gumdrop setup used by Waymo, Cruise, Argo, and others making self-driving cars for use in taxi or delivery fleets, Luminar's LiDAR is about the size of a VCR tape. Now, that is stretching for anybody who even remembers what a VCR tape looks like. It's maybe about that big. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
not.
About an inch thick or more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting they use that as a comparison. A bit outdated that reference, but it works. I know what it looks like, and it fits sleekly into the car's roof just above the windshield. LiDAR systems shoot out millions of points of light a second, measuring how long it takes to return and bouncing off by bouncing off nearby objects to build a map of their surroundings. Because they rival cameras for detail without the tricky matter of converting 2D pixels into 3D understanding, nearly all self-driving developers consider them a must-have tool. But it's young technology. The first one meant for driving appeared in 2005, and the nascent LiDAR industry has struggled to hit the right mix of range, resolution, reliability, and cost. It's especially tricky to make a LiDAR that can work on a consumer vehicle where any component that costs more than $1,000 or lasts less than 10 years is a hard sell. That's the logic underpinning Elon Musk's dismissal of the laser system in favor of cameras. Anyone relying on LiDAR is doomed, the Tesla CEO said last year. Volvo's engineers disagree. We believe LiDAR is absolutely a requirement for safe autonomous driving, says Patrick Bjoerler, who directs Volvo's autonomous driving and mobility strategy. Currently, highway driving systems like Tesla's Autopilot, Cadillac Super Cruise, and Nissan ProPilot require the human to remain vigilant because their cameras and radars can't be trusted to spot things like stopped fire trucks. That would be an important thing to notice, I would think. Let's see, it provides enough detail and reliability to unlock the human's eyes from the road. And thanks to Luminar, he says, Volvo can make this happen. And again, it says since coming out, so it goes on and talking about the company, but it just makes me think where we've come. I mean, again, I grew up with cars that you could work on. Like I remember working on my own cars and changing the alternator or changing the distributor or fixing the carburetor. You can't do that anymore. Now we're getting to the point where the technology is such that it's going to drive itself essentially. I don't know how this is going to work, and maybe I'm just old. I don't know how much I would trust it. Could you imagine being able to actually hit Super Cruise or whatever you want to call it, lay back and take a nap while your car drives you to where you want to go?
I think we're a way off that yet.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, that's where we're going. I think I know now they currently have self-driving tractor trailers. Okay, they've been experimenting with them. They've been using them for deliveries, but they're only meant for highway. In other words, they can manage the highway with cars besides them in front of them. But as soon as they get into city streets where they have to do a lot of turning, that's a different story altogether. And I'm wondering if that's what they're talking about here. You know, is that do you think that's what they're referring to, Steve? Is basically on a highway, let it go, and if you want to just kick back and putts with your radio or whatever the case is, that the car should be reliable. I don't know. What
Well,
are your
if they're
thoughts
going
on
to
this?
claim it's reliable, it needs to be reliable.
Oh, one would hope.
That's fundamental. Yeah.
I don't know, but it's, I'm not a big fan of it yet, but the proof is in the pudding. I want to see how this thing works. Trust me, I'm not going to be in any market to be able to buy one of these things. I can't get a Volvo now, let alone one in a couple of years that has LiDAR in it, for crying out loud. But
No.
they do say that it's only going to cost about $500 to make this LiDAR system. That is one fact that I did not mention in the.
That's very interesting. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
Because
I
you'd
mean,
imagine
right-
that costing several thousand at minimum, couldn't you?
Well, they're talking about the Cadillac's charges $2,500 for Super Cruise, and Tesla asks $7,000 for their version of autopilot, which apparently isn't as reliable because they use cameras and such, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
So to have something that's more reliable, I mean, and to be an option for only $500, I don't know.
Crazy.
Weird.
Crazy.
Okay.
Now that LiDAR, that's used for actual like geological mapping and things like that too, isn't it? Well,
Yeah, for 3D imaging.
can you imagine, say, like the Google Street Car being equipped with one of them, and then actually 3D mapping the streets in Google Maps?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Have I just thought of $1 million idea?
Yeah, maybe. Well, you're on record now, so maybe we should find a way to copyright this stream, so you might be able to get some credit
Yes.
for it.
Bearing in mind, if that happens, you heard it here first. I am going to be looking for royalties on that, because
From Google.
technically I did say it first. It's announced to the world. Yeah. It's out there. It's not patented though, so that's where I'll fall flat on my face. Right.
Well, patent pending.
Patent pending. Yeah. Patent pending, as in my application being
There you
put
go.
in the post is
The
pending.
announcement.
Right.
Yes. The announcement. Well,
Now that brings me to an interesting little story that I've got. Not anything like drone related, but it is autonomous driving, and obviously that does tie into autonomous stuff with drones and whatnot.
right.
I remember watching a full documentary. I'll try and find the link for next week's show, where a company, it was quite a big car company, was developing their own AI for cars to make them navigate city streets and whatnot. But they couldn't do it in any sort of practical setting. So what they did was they used the game Grand Theft Auto 5, which has a fully mapped out city, country roads, everything, and fit this AI into the game, right? And
Really?
then actually had it autonomously drive around in the virtual city of Los Santos in GTA 5, which has its full traffic system and everything, like it's full packed, busy city streets with a full traffic system and everything. And it actually follows the lines on the road, and it actually uses, like, in the game, they have like simulated cameras either side and on the back and on the front to actually detect where other cars are, turning the lights turning green and red and amber, and actually fully autonomously driving around safely within the game. And then they adapted that AI and put it into one of the cars, and it worked flawlessly.
Oh, amazing.
That's crazy. That is crazy stuff, isn't it?
And do you know if they used LiDAR or not, or was it other
Well,
types
within the game, it'd be very difficult
No,
to
but
simulate
I'm
LiDAR,
just saying,
but
when they put it into practice, how did the data from the surrounding environment get into the car's operating system, let's say, to be able to navigate? I'm just curious how what sensors
it'd be
they.
with the use of cameras. So the game, obviously, they'd set up simulated cameras on the side, on the back and the front, similar to how, say, a normal automated car would do it, possibly angled cameras as well for that perspective within the game. So as they was running the simulation, they had all these different segmented screens on this one screen of all the different cameras on the in-game car, and it showed you with, when they show you how the AI works, it's got boxes on it and lines, and it's calculating distances and speeds of all the different objects, and it was doing that within the game.
Oh, that'd be fun to watch. I'd like to have seen that one.
Yeah. So I'll try and find the link for that for next week's show, because I don't want to try and look for that now, because I'll go quiet for a few minutes, because I think that's quite obscure. I only saw that once and it seems to have vanished, but you know, I'm not making that up, so I will find the link for that somewhere. I promise. Yeah, for next week's show. Remind me about that as well, please, Mark.
Okay,
I'll
I will.
find that. Yeah. Okie dokie. So on to my next story then, and this is a lovely one for me because it combines history and drones, exactly what I do on the channel for the most part. I try and combine conspiracy theories, dinosaurs and drones a lot of the time, but never mind. So this one is from BBC News again, and the link actually works this time, and that is new drone view of William Wallace's hidden fort. So this one's from yesterday, so it's still fairly fresh, and this is an aerial photograph, just one of hundreds, of the site that were taken using a drone. So an aerial archaeological survey has produced new views of a hidden fort reputedly built by William Wallace in southern Scotland. The site near Lochmaben is recorded in the New Statistical Account of Scotland published in the 19th century. It described the hidden stronghold as his base to sally forth to annoy the English. A drone was used to help survey the site, known as Wallace's House, and create a three-dimensional model. Forestry and Land Scotland archaeologist Matt Ritchie oversaw the work by Skyscape Survey to examine the massive earthen rampart and promontory in Dumfries and Galloway. He said that they've been working to combine accurate surveys with innovative visualisation techniques. Hundreds of photographs were taken from the air by remote-controlled drone, stitched together using point matching software to create a 3D terrain model, stripping away scrub and ground vegetation. It's fascinating and revealing technique that really begins to open up the landscape, and this seemed like an ideal site to investigate. There isn't much evidence on the surface, but the rampart and topography matches the historic description very well. The New Statistical Account of Scotland was compiled using responses to the questionnaire sent to every minister in Scotland. It covers a wide range of subjects, including evidence of historic ruins in their parishes. The account describes the site of the fort with an extensive view to the south as a strong place of defence. Sir William Wallace, while meditating the capture of the castle at Lochmaben in 1297, is said to have kept 16 men there, with whom he sallied forth to annoy the English garrison under Greystock and Sir Hugh of Moorland, it added. So that there is a picture of the believed site of where William Wallace resided with his merry men, to torment the English defences, and that is marked on the original Ordnance Survey map of the area. So this is from an old Ordnance Survey map with it written on there, basically, that was where that all took place. The terrain model shows the deep gullies and the rampart, so that's the images that they've got there from it. And then Mr. Ritchie said that the latest study added to map work, which started with the Ordnance Survey of 1857, our new 3D model enables the massive rampart of the fort to really stand out and the deep gullies of the two Lynns to be appreciated, he said. It must have been the strong place of defence described by the account, the rampart topped with a timber palisade and enclosing timber buildings built to house the soldiers and their horses. But could the fort really have been built by William Wallace and his men? I'd like to think so, and either way the survey has added a new chapter to an old story. FLS Regional Environment Advisor Bill Coombs described it as a site where ecological and heritage objectives had come together to create a special place. The organisation is working to restore the area to a native condition. So that is like really, really cool stuff, that, Mark.
That is really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there's a programme in the UK called Time Team, Mark. Have you ever heard of this?
No, I have not.
There's a guy called, I don't know if he still does it anymore, but this guy called Tony Robinson, he was in Blackadder.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he is now like a world-renowned historian of British history. Yeah, and he does a programme called Time Team, where they visit places all around the UK and sometimes further afield, and they do like survey maps, and they use that geophys, they call it, where they use that like sonic boom thing on the ground, and it brings back a picture of all the foundations and everything that
I know what you're talking
and then
about.
they excavate it and they see what's left there, and then they try and open these sites as like historical sites, like museums, basically.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to expose the ground and then let people visit, you know, of like the old foundations or old buildings which have literally just sunk into the ground over time.
Right.
You know,
I think they
find
refer
some
to
incredible stuff. It's really good.
I don't know if they call it that in the UK, but I think they refer to it, and I might be wrong, as ground penetrating radar. Does that sound familiar?
That's the one.
Ground penetrating? Yeah, that's amazing technology, because normally you can't get through that stuff. And I believe, didn't they find something also in the UK, a bigger, the grandfather to Stonehenge, like a bigger site using ground penetrating radar or something?
The funny thing is, what's really, really funny, and I know this does tie into the ancient alien hypothesis thingy, but all around the world there is many different Stonehenges of different descriptions and everything, and it always seems to be like concentric circles. Like, why all around the world at a set time, like people, you know, ancient Neolithic people even, were building these concentric circles out of monumental stones, some of them miles and miles across. You know, I think there's one in France, I think it measures like miles across, and obviously for many years it wasn't known about because it just looks like a stone here and there, but then when you start picturing it from the air, you can actually see them all.
See the patterns,
you know, these stone circles. So what's puzzling is why ancient people felt the need to start building these massive stone circles.
Right.
Who knows? All in different parts of the world with no apparent means of communication, you know, so...
Right.
I don't know, but this is all very interesting stuff. I'd love to see some of this done on Stonehenge, actually, now we talk about
definitely.
it. Yeah, so Stonehenge is not the only one. There is numerous ones. And
see, I wasn't even aware of that. I mean, I know that they have weird, like, you got Easter Island with some weird, you know, sculptures and such, and different things. Yeah, but I did not realize that there were different, literally concentric circles like Stonehenge around the world. You only hear of that in England. You know, nobody thinks of any other place but the UK when they hear Stonehenge or anything like that.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Hey, see, at least I'm learning something new tonight too.
Yes. Okay, Mike, do you have one more story for us?
I have one more story
before we escape off to the land of computer games.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I have to say, this is a refreshing break from that. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. And I always seem to be the one that brings us back into it. This was reported on UAV Coach as of April 29, 2020. U.S. consumer drone delivery programs triple overnight. So it's coming, folks. We've heard a lot recently about how drone delivery could help with measures to fight the spread of COVID-19 in the U.S., with two primary types of operations discussed, being delivery of goods to support social distancing and medical deliveries. Despite the talk, the reality is that the U.S. only has consumer drone programs, one in Christiansburg, Virginia, called Wings program, and one medical drone delivery program, UPS, and a Matternets program in Raleigh, North Carolina. So really there are only two documented confirmed drone delivery systems or programs right now in the U.S. That was until recently this week, just a few days ago. Israeli drone delivery company Flytrex announced that it will be launching a drone delivery pilot program in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And the next day, UPS Flight Forward announced that it will start delivering medicine by drone from CVS, which is a chain of drugstores, to the Villages, a huge retirement community in northern Florida. Okay, there's a picture of their delivery system that they will be using. With the launch of these two new drone delivery programs, the U.S. has tripled its consumer drone delivery programs overnight. Although the UPS program will be delivering medicine, we're categorizing it as a consumer program since the deliveries are from a business to an individual, not from one medical institution to another, because they do have something like that. So these are consumers purchasing and having them brought in, and not just going from one place to another without any commerce, if you will. Flytrex's new drone delivery program will take place in Grand Forks, North Dakota, in partnership with drone service company Ease Drones, EASE, the Northern Plans UAS test site, the Grand Forks Region Economic Development Corporation, and the City of Grand Forks. Food, medicine, and other goods will be available for drone delivery for Grand Forks residents that opt in to receive them. Orders for deliveries will be available via the Flytrex app. The items delivered will come from restaurants and retailers retailer partners in the area, including Walmart. Deliveries will be packed at Walmart and taken across the street to a launch pad where the drone will be loaded. The drones use the program to be made by Ease Drones, but operate with Flytrex navigation system. These drones can carry up to 6.6 pounds. Excuse me, my dog is barking an awful lot.
That's okay.
Distracting.
That's okay.
Okay, customer drop-offs will be made directly into people's backyards using a tether that hangs down. Bad use of the word tether there. That hangs down from the delivery. It's more of a winch system. As it hovers about 80 feet in the air, as shown in the image below. So there's the picture of a person receiving, and we've seen this system before where it lowers it. The customer takes it off the hook, takes whatever's in the box, puts it back in, or whatever the case is. The drone delivery service will be free during its initial rollout, but eventually costs a small fee. At first, deliveries will only be available to those houses located within a mile or two of the launch pad. Flytrex hopes to grow the program quickly and speculates that it will eventually be able to service several thousand households in Grand Forks, a city of 50,000 residents. So there you go, folks. It is starting, and I venture a guess if the FAA and all these companies have it their way, this will grow exponentially, and you'll start seeing this more readily to the point where you can get takeout using drones.
Yeah.
So
think of this as a trial. There's many trials going on, and this is going to be make or break. If that's successful and people start banging on about how good it is, you watch it. It will get rolled out everywhere.
And there will be drones all over the place.
Yes. You won't have to worry about your neighbour spying on you because the FAA will literally, and the CAA will just ban hobbyist drones.
Yeah, just because of this.
Because they want the airspace.
They want the money. They want the money.
They want the money. Yeah, simple as that. So,
but that's an update, and that's all I got for you this week, Steve.
Yep, that's all good for me as well. Obviously, we've hit the 1 hour mark.
Yep.
So
yes,
that's all good. Thank you everyone for joining us. Like we say, this Saturday, there's not going to be an interview stream on Mark's channel, but that is for good purposes to regroup and come up with a good guess, good questions and everything. So we are going to regroup, and then the next show will be the Saturday after. Next Wednesday will be the weekly Drone News Roundup as it goes, as always. So hopefully you can come join us for that. I hope you all stay safe. Mark, any final words before I close the stream?
Just bye.
Yeah. Farewell, everybody. Stay safe. We'll catch you all next Wednesday. And
thanks for popping.
All the best. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Farewell.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I gotta stand